At this point, I think there was like 40 minutes left in the episode. And y'all, I did not care about the rest of the episode. I didn't care about the proposal. I didn't care about the Daisy exit interview. I didn't care about the Kelsey and Joey exit interview. I didn't care about none of that. I just wanted to know who was the next Bachelorette. But of course, ABC milked this for every drop. Hi everyone, my name is Demetri and welcome back to DemetriTube. The Bachelor, the finale. Let's talk about it. As always, if you're enjoying my videos, please go ahead and pound that like button, pound that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell. I'm a growing YouTuber and the like subscribes really help me out. Okay, so just a few things before we get started. First, if this video looks a little different compared to my other videos, I apologize. I usually use aperture mode to film, but for some reason the video keeps showing dark. So I'm in like movie mode, which I don't normally use. So if it looks a little different, that's why. And honestly, most of y'all probably have no idea what I'm talking about unless you shoot regularly on an actual camera. Next, I have started Love is Blind. A lot of you have been asking me in the comments, are you watching Love is Blind? Are you reviewing Love is Blind? Have you started? I recently started. I'm on like episode 5 and I do plan to do some sort of review for it. So just make sure you're subscribed to my channel and have the notification bell on so when the video drops, you're notified. I'm not gonna talk too much about it right now, but so far, Jessica is the breakout star for me. I am absolutely loving Jessica. Next, Maria from this season of The Bachelor reposted part of one of my YouTube videos and I didn't even know. So shout out to Shani G Holston 5297 or Shani Holston. I'm not sure how you say the name. I'll post it somewhere. But she let me know that Maria had like reposted me on her Instagram. Also, somebody else DM'd me and told me it was like a ghost account, so I'm just not gonna put y'all on blast because I'm pretty sure y'all wanna stay anonymous. But whoever you were, thank you as well. So last week when I was talking all that about Medina, Maria had reposted part of the conversation I was having about her. But when I looked at my YouTube comments and then I went to Maria's Instagram page, it was already gone off her stories. Then somebody DM'd me and it was also on this like Bachelor Scoop page. It's some like semi-famous Bachelor Nation page. They had reposted Maria showing my video. So just a heads up, y'all, I really try to avoid Instagram because I'm the type that just ends up doom scrolling. So I try to avoid it. And not only that, after I post a YouTube video, I usually don't look at the comments for a little bit because usually I'm very tired. So I need like some time before I start reading and responding to the comments. So when I found out Maria had reposted me, it was already gone from her story. And then when I went to the Bachelor Nation Scoop page, it was still on there, but I didn't record it and I really should have recorded it. Long story short, I do aspire to blow up on YouTube. I hope it happens for me one day and I do believe it will happen for me one day, but I do need to get more on top of this social media game. And to find out that people from actual Bachelor Nation like Maria are watching my videos and enjoying my content, it just feels so good because I didn't think any of them were watching my content. I just thought this was a fun thing between us, like you all my subscribers. Like we just come here every week and watch this, and I definitely appreciate all of you who support my channel. Thank you for supporting me. But to find out that people from Bachelor Nation are enjoying my content just as much as you all do, it feels really good. Anyways, I'm gonna get more on top of the social media game and more on top of putting out this content because y'all, I truly believe 2024 is my year. I'm manifesting it right now. Let's go. And one last thing before we dive into the video, y'all, this finale could have been an hour. Like, this finale did not need to be 3 hours. And did y'all notice at points they were just showing shots of the studio and it was just quiet and dramatic after showing a scene from the episode? Like, so many points in this finale we weren't even doing anything. And they totally milked the last 30 minutes, which we are gonna talk about in the video. That's all I got. Let's dive into the review. Sorry, one more thing I wanna mention before I get the video started. Just a heads up, I'm sure a lot of you got spoilers before you could watch the final episode. And just a heads up, you literally cannot log on to any social media until you watch the episode. So normally they post the episode at like 5 or 6 in the morning, but of course for the finale they did not. The same thing happened with Charity season. It didn't get posted till like 10:30, and for me, I did not log into Twitter, I did not log into Instagram at all, and I logged in to YouTube to post something on the board at 8 a.m. Usually YouTube is a little slower with the spoilers, and I'm also on East Coast time, but if you do not want spoilers for future seasons, when the finale comes out, you literally just cannot log on social media or it will be spoiled for you, because these algorithms are smart. They all know we watch this show and we're interested in the show. So they show us things like spoilers because they think that's what we want to see. That's all I got. Let's dive into the review. The episode starts and there's just a couple of things I want to mention from the intro. First, Rachel finally got her hair and makeup together. Shout out to that. You know, we thought it couldn't be done, but she did it. Next, if you made it this far in the video, please go ahead and pound that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Next, we're in Tulum, Mexico, and we get a shot of Joey on the beach, and like, who towels off like this? Like, let's be serious. Did y'all see that intro shot? Joey was toweling off in the weirdest way, and it was clearly done because they were trying to show him having fun on the beach and showing off his body and abs, but like, the way he was toweling off looked so weird and forced. Next, Joey meets with his family because his family is about to meet the final 2 contestants. He talks about saying I love you to the contestants because he has not said I love you to either of them yet. And y'all know how I feel about saying that I love you. I just feel like if you feel it, then just say it. This concern about specifically only saying it to one person, it's just a little much for me. So like, I get it. If you tell that to more than one person, you're gonna get dragged on social media, because we've had leads say it to more than one person and they very much got dragged on social media. But at the same time, it makes a better show. So if you feel it for more than one person, whatever, just say it. Also, this is just a preference. I'd rather have the realest Bachelor instead of the most perfect Bachelor. After that, Daisy meets Joey's family for the first time. And when it comes to Daisy's outfit, I was not feeling the dress. She doesn't look bad. I just didn't really care for the dress. And we get another chance to hear about Daisy's favorite topic. And I don't even gotta say it, y'all already know what it is. And Daisy talks to Joey's 2 sisters. She said she was falling for him previously. If Joey does get on one knee, she would say yes, and she is in love with him. She would pick him and choose him every single day, but she's slightly scared because there's someone else. And Daisy also has a one-on-one with Joey's mom, and I don't know if y'all caught this, but they showed Joey's mom in the live studio audience watching back herself talking to Daisy, and Joey's mom cringed a little bit watching herself talk to Daisy. And back in Tulum, Joey's mom tells Daisy, I'd be honored to have you as a daughter of mine. And I did think that was really sweet. Then after that, we move on to Kelsey meeting Joey's family. And Kelsey's hair and makeup during this moment looked amazing. Her dress was okay. It wasn't like a huge standout for me or anything, but she did look good. And let me just point this out. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Kelsey was like 10 times more excited than Daisy to meet Joey's family. Like, you could tell Kelsey was excited but also nervous at the same time, and you could see she was like exuding that energy, whereas Daisy was just so low energy for me meeting Joey's family. But later on, Daisy does talk about being stressed over the 3 days, so maybe that's why she was lower energy. And also, she just naturally is lower energy, but still. It was just wild to me how low energy Daisy was meeting Joey's family, because I was sitting there the whole time like, do you even like this man? Anyways, going back to Kelsey meeting the family, Joey's sister in this moment, her dress was really cute. I almost gave this outfit of the episode. Joey's sisters ask Kelsey if she's ready for marriage, and Kelsey responds, I don't feel a need to get married, and I do not have a specific timeline. And his sisters read that as she may not be ready to get married, but I read it as it seems like Kelsey does not have a need to get married. Like, she wants to get married, and if it happens, that's a huge plus for her, but I read it as she doesn't need to or have to. And I just thought that was interesting because that's not normally a take we get on this show. Normally the women who come on this show want to get married. That is like their ultimate goal. It is a huge thing for them. It has to happen. But for Kelsey, to me, it just felt like, oh, that's not necessary. It's very much, if she's with the person she loves, like that's good enough for her. But if she does get married, that's a huge plus. I thought that was a good sign, but for some reason, Joey's sisters read it as her possibly not being ready at all. Next, Joey's sisters also read her for being so energetic. They were just like, yeah, she has a lot of energy, she's fun, and she lit up the room. What? Like, yeah, that's because she wants Joey and she's excited about Joey and she wants Joey's family to see how sprung she is over him. And the sisters almost read it as like slightly juvenile, but like, that's confusing to me. You would rather have a girl like Daisy who doesn't even seem excited to be with Joey? Like that's what you would rather have? Make it make sense. And that's all I got for Kelsey and Daisy meeting the fam. After this happened, Jesse Palmer gave a slight preview to the Golden Bachelorette podcast. I don't think that's the name, but it is a podcast by two of the Golden Bachelorette contestants. I'm definitely not going to listen to that podcast, but if any of y'all listen and think it's good, just like let me know. Normally the ABC sponsored podcasts kind of suck, but maybe this one will be kind of good. Next, if you made it this far in the video, please go ahead and pound that like button for the YouTube algorithm. So after that, we get a one-on-one date with Joey and Daisy. They go meet the shaman, the typical nothing really happens there. And there's also a night portion, but there are a few things I want to talk about. So is it just me, or did Daisy hijack this show from Joey? Like, this entire date and actually part of the end, it just felt like Daisy hijacked the show. And yes, I get it. It's not really her fault. Like, she's not in charge of editing, but that's what it felt like. And like, why did production decide to go in this angle? Like, this show is called The Bachelor, not The Contestant. Like, why is all of the focus being put on Daisy and what she's going through, yada, yada, yada? Like, I would have rather seen the decision-making going on with Joey, but we don't see any of that. So during this one-on-one date with Joey, Daisy is completely spiraling. She says she loves him so much and it hurts because he's not sure of her. And Daisy also says that Joey said during a one-on-one that we didn't see, I want the best for you, even if it's not me and you. And I guess that was the major point where Daisy felt like it was not her. So this may sound kind of mean, but during this whole part, I was just like, Daisy, do you not know how this show works? Like, when you're a contestant on The Bachelor, like, you literally just have to put your faith into the relationship and hope that it will work out. Like, that's literally all you have. And low-key, this is what you signed up for. And also, this moment right here is what makes The Bachelor 10 times better than The Bachelorette. Like, if you're a contestant on The Bachelor, you literally have to put all of your faith in the process. Joey decides who gets the final rose, and Joey decides whether or not he proposes. On The Bachelorette, usually at this point in the season, The Bachelorette tends to choose whoever will propose to her. So in that realm, the guys have a little bit of control in the situation. But on this, the contestants have no control of the situation. Either Joey's gonna pick them and propose, or Joey's not. And that's it. So your only option is to put faith into the situation. And control is probably not even the best word to use. On The Bachelorette, the men tend to have some bargaining power because they're either willing to propose or they're not willing to propose, and that influences the Bachelorette's decision. Whereas on this, the decision is completely up to Joey, and more than likely the contestant will say yes if they are chosen. Anyways, going back to Daisy. So Daisy was completely checked out on this date because she felt like she had already lost and she feels like Joey is not going to choose her. And the only confusing part is like, why didn't she talk to Joey or like have a conversation about it or dig a little deeper? Like, I felt like she should have tried to get more out of him, but I don't know. And then another thing that sucks is this is just part of the show. Joey cannot blab the winner early. Like, he can't do that based on his contract. So then we go to the night portion of the date, and Daisy tells Joey, I love you. He doesn't reciprocate, and overall, Daisy does not feel validated with his responses back. And not only that, Joey tells Daisy about how he was in a similar position during charity season, and he talks about his biggest fear yet again, that at the end of all this, he wouldn't get chosen. I found this part super annoying because, like, did neither of you listen to Taylor Swift's Fearless? When in the pursuit of love, you cannot let your fears run you. And in this moment, both Joey and Daisy are letting their fears run them in this process, and that's not the way to do it. And I get it. This is a very big deal, but at this point in the process, you have two choices. You can enjoy yourself and enjoy this last little bit of time you have with Joey, or you can just get in your head and just completely spiral, which is what Daisy's doing. I would have chose the former. And of course, after Joey leaves and we start on scenes with his date with Kelsey, Daisy starts to spiral, and she spirals bad. And I'm like, girl, you were at the Secrets Resort and Beach Club in Tulum, Mexico. Have a margarita and relax. After that, we get to see Kelsey and Joey's one-on-one date. And y'all, this was possibly one of the best dates I've ever seen on the show. Kelsey and Joey go and get pedicures. They also get massages too, but like, the massages. I would love to just go on a pedicure date. Like, that's like a dream date for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I've gotten pedicures with people, but I've never gotten a pedicure with a love interest, but definitely I would love to do that as a date. And then during the night portion, not really much happens, but there's two things Kelsey mentions that I do want to say. Kelsey tells Joey, it's not a box I'm trying to check, but because it's you. And I just thought that was so sweet. Again, this reminds me of what Kelsey was talking about earlier. Like, engagement or getting married to me isn't that important to her. It's just being with Joey that's important to her. And then Kelsey also says, every time I spend time with you, it becomes clearer and clearer it should be you and I at the end of this. And you know, Kelsey, as an audience, we feel the exact same way. Daisy is not the one. And one of the most wild things about this episode was like both Daisy and Kelsey were worried about the other contestant. Like, I don't know if I've seen that before, but it was just kind of wild that each one was just worried about the other one, and they were so vocal about it. So after that, the first gag of the night happens. Daisy goes and knocks on a door, and I thought it was Joey's door. I'm pretty sure all of you probably thought it was Joey's door as well, but it ends up being Kelsey's door. So Daisy sits down with Kelsey, and she basically picks her brain about how her week went, and she also tells Kelsey that she felt off and says she didn't get the validation she wanted from Joey. And Daisy also says she wants a future with Joey, but she has doubts. Oh, sorry about that. I'm like boiling an egg for tuna. And while all of this was going down, I had similar thoughts to what I mentioned earlier in the video. Like, is Daisy just hijacking this show? But at the same time, you gotta remember, production allowed her to do all of this. And also, like, what is Daisy's goal in asking Kelsey all of this? Like, is she just trying to figure out if she's the winner or not? Like, because Kelsey doesn't know. So after that, we get the next gag, and Daisy and Kelsey end up riding in a limo together to the finale. Now, all of this was meant to be like a sisterhood camaraderie moment, but overall, I thought the entire thing was very lame. And y'all know on this channel, we appreciate the drama and we prefer to watch women argue. But on the bright side, production got to save some money on their Uber XL expenses. And also, if the women want to ride in Uber XLs together, we might as well just put them all in the same fantasy suite again together as well. Just go ahead and throw Victoria F in there too. Why not? So Daisy is the first one out of the limo, and she gets the first opportunity to talk to Joey. Joey gives part of his speech, and then Daisy responds and says, I do love you, but the thing is, you're not gonna choose me. And the last few days, I realized you're not my person, and I'm gonna do what's best for me and go. go, and this was the next gag of the episode. So Joey cries and agrees with her and does not stop her from leaving. And for a moment, I thought Joey was gonna say, wait, you were the one I chose. And if that happened, that would have been the real gag, but no, we find out that Kelsey was Joey's final choice. So just a few things I wanna say about this. First, this was a slight gag. Like, literally all of the predictions I heard regarding what would happen in this final scene, basically all of them were wrong. And this is what actually happened, and it was definitely a gag. Next, I really didn't care for this. This is Joey's season, and it just feels like Daisy is trying to hijack his show. It almost kind of robbed Joey of a decision, but Joey is a very laid back guy and just does not care. Next, at this point, we still have no idea who is going to be the next Bachelorette. And y'all, if there was not a more perfect setup to be the next Bachelorette, it's probably this. And not only that, Daisy was hugging Kelsey, congratulating her when she won near the Uber XL. Like, this was the best setup for her to be Bachelorette. And y'all know I was adamant about not having Daisy as the next Bachelorette. And lastly, I was shocked. If you've been following my channel, y'all know I really thought Joey was gonna pick Daisy. I did not want him to pick her, but that's who I thought he was gonna pick, even though Kelsey is a better choice. But what I wanted to happen actually happened. He didn't pick her. And y'all, after Joey did not pick her, I was on pins and needles. I was like, God, they're about to make her the next Bachelorette. Last thing I want to say, and I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna stick with this, I don't think Daisy liked Joey that much. Because if she did, I feel like she wouldn't have been congratulating Kelsey like this. And also, she didn't even cry in the Uber XL. Like, she barely shed a tear. So I think she liked Joey, but I truly don't think she liked him that much. Either that, or over the past 3 days when she was waiting to see him for the final time, maybe she cried a ton then, but if she did, I feel like we would have saw it more on camera. Like, it's very much possible she could have spent the 3 days crying over him and she didn't need to do it again in an Uber XL, but I don't think that's the case, because when she had her final date with Joey, I don't think she would have been able to keep it together emotionally if she was truly in love with him. And like, during her final date with Joey, to me, she was very much checked out. But if she was in love with Joey and upset about knowing she wouldn't have gotten picked, I think she would have been more of a wreck that day. What did y'all think of this whole Daisy situation and Daisy exit? Let me know below in the comments. After that, we get the final proposal scene with Kelsey and Joey. And y'all, at this point, I think there was like 40 minutes left in the episode. And y'all, I did not care about the rest of the episode. I didn't care about the proposal. I didn't care about the Daisy exit interview. I didn't care about the Kelsey and Joey exit interview. I didn't care about none of that. I just wanted to know who was the next Bachelorette. But of course, ABC milked this for every drop. But even though I didn't care, there are a few things we're gonna talk about. Yep, it's that time, outfit of the episode. For this week's outfit of the episode, I'm giving it to Kelsey during her proposal scene with Joey. For the proposal scene, Kelsey is wearing this beautiful white gown, and y'all, I don't love this gown, to be honest, but this was the best outfit of the episode. So Kelsey got this for outfit of the episode. And don't get me wrong, she looks good and the body is bodying, but I just don't love this dress. Anyways, back to the episode. So the proposal was sweet, it was beautiful, yada, yada, yada. But then we go back to the live studio audience and Jesse Palmer. Jesse Palmer brings out Joey, and Joey's hair looks good, but I also thought it looked very dorky. What did y'all think of Joey's hair? Let me know below in the comments. After that, we move on to the Daisy exit interview, and y'all, the outfit was bussin', the hair was bussin', the makeup looks way better than she did on the season. Like, Daisy very much understood the assignment, and y'all, I was convinced she was the next Bachelorette. Like, I was convinced, because look at what we're seeing. And y'all, during this interview, there was nothing I thought was important, and during the entire time, I was just like, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Tell us who the next Bachelorette is. There was only one thing Daisy did mention that I do want to say. At one point, she was like, in terms of like her relationship with Joey, she says, this is something I'm gonna look back on and smile, and that just sounded so phony to me. After that, we get an exit interview with Kelsey and Joey, and there was nothing in this interview that I cared about. Actually, the best best part of this interview was getting all the close-ups of Kelsey's hot dad. And he looked really good. He put on a suit for the event. And just one more thing I want to say about Kelsey and Joey before we move on. Let me know below in the comments. Do you think Kelsey and Joey are going to make it? Do you think they're going to eventually get married? Do you think they're going to stay together forever? Let me know what you think in the comments. So during the finale, they mentioned they're planning to move to New York City. And of course, Kelsey and Joey got a spread in People magazine. And by the way, it looks like People magazine is going broke because their spread was just not very good. Also, Joey and Kelsey aren't the most photogenic. Not that their spread looked bad, but I don't think it looked that good. Anyways, so I listened to part of the interview and basically they are aiming to move to New York City like late spring, early summer. And they both want to have a long engagement and they want to enjoy the engagement. There is no rush for them to get married. So y'all know this is just how I feel. If y'all love each other, just go ahead and get married. We've seen this on multiple seasons fairly often. A lot of contestants are like, if I get married, I only want to do it once and I want to do it right. So to me, that's more reason for y'all to just hurry up and get married, because going into the marriage, the thought process in your head is, I only want to get married once and I'm going to make this work regardless. So just get married and make sure it works. And yeah, I get it, easier said than done, but also instead of getting married quickly, they choose these long engagements. And the problem with the long engagement is like, okay, now you're looking for more and more faults in your partner and in the relationship, and then it's gonna end up y'all are less likely to get married. And especially with these Bachelor Nation couples, it happens all the time. They frequently date for 9 months to 2 years and then they end up breaking up. And in some of the cases, I feel like if they had chosen to get married, there's a better chance it would have worked instead of just trying to have a long engagement. Next, I don't know if Kelsey and Joey are gonna get married. Y'all are probably gonna drag me in the comments, but I don't see them being together forever. Like, I just have a feeling that eventually they're gonna grow apart from one another, and I don't know when and I don't know why, but it's just this feeling I have. But in their defense, if they move to New York City and they make it in New York City after 1 year, I think there is a good chance that they'll get married and they'll stay together forever, but we will just have to wait and see what happens. So clearly, they're most likely moving to New York City because they want to influence. And in the interview in People magazine, Kelsey says she's always had this desire to live in New York. If y'all didn't know this, moving to New York City is like the ultimate test of a relationship, because you are going to find out very quickly whether or not you like someone, because you're going to be stuck in a small apartment and you're going to be around each other a lot. And just living in New York has so many specific things that you have to deal with and that will stress you out. And there's so much temptation there. I just feel like it is somewhat of a true test of relationship. And that's why I feel if they can live together in New York for a year, then they can probably make it. Now, don't get me wrong, Kelsey and Joey are gonna make more money because most likely they're gonna be influencing, but I don't know if the money they're making is gonna justify them living in New York City. Like, yes, influencers in the past have made a good amount of money from this show, but part of me feels like also they're not pulling numbers like they used to. So we'll just see how that goes. And going even further, during the interview with People magazine, Kelsey just said she had this dream just to move to New York and live in New York and try living there. And like, I hate to say this, but like the dream of just moving to New York and living there, I hate to say this, that dream is kind of dead. Like, if you move to New York, you very much need to move there for something, just because the cost to live in New York now is so ridiculous. Like, if you're going there, you need to be going there for a specific reason, not just because you just want to live there. And going even further than that, Joey likes the beach. He likes being near the water. He lived in Hawaii and now he's gonna move to New York. Like, that doesn't really make sense. And yes, his family lives in Philly, but at that point, y'all should just live in Philadelphia and just travel to New York. Like, it's like a 90-minute bus ride, maybe even less than that. So yeah, Kelsey and Joey are grown. They could do what they want. But to me, it would make more sense for them to just live in Philly or live in NOLA and just travel a lot. Because the money you would save, you would have so much more money to just travel. And in the finale, Joey mentioned how they want to travel more. So just live in NOLA or Philly and just travel. Like, you don't need to waste all your money on a New York City apartment. Anyways, to wrap up the episode, we finally find out who the Bachelorette is, and y'all, ABC milked this to the bone. There was 30 minutes left in the episode, and I was like, what are we gonna do for 30 minutes? The only thing we need to find out is who is Bachelorette, and it does not take 30 minutes to say that. So anyways, ABC milked it for all it's worth, and we did not find out until the last 5 minutes or so, and we find out that Jen is the new Bachelorette, and this was the gag, because after it was announced that it was not Daisy, I thought it was gonna be Maria. But Maria did not get it, and Jen got it, and this was a total gag for me. Like I said earlier, I avoided the spoilers, and I was so shocked that Jen got Bachelorette. But this is who I actually wanted to get it. Normally, the people who get Bachelorette, I don't want it, but it's wild that somebody I wanted to get it actually got it. Now for me, it does not matter to me that she's the first Asian American Bachelorette. Like, that doesn't matter. I just wanted someone in the role who's young and fun and who's possibly not gonna act like it's the end of the world if she does not find a husband from this. And I think that's gonna happen with Jen. And even from the jump, it already feels like she's taking the role more lightheartedly. Like, she did the shot o'clock and she's doing shots with everyone. And just when she was explaining what she's looking for in a partner, it just was not as serious as we've seen on the most recent seasons. And as for her season, I think Jen will be fun, and I do think she's gonna be a breath of fresh air. Do I think she's gonna have a legendary season? Not really, but maybe she'll surprise us. And yes, I will be back in July to review her season. So if you're not subscribed, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you do not miss it. So to wrap up this video, as always, we are gonna do a toast. And I'm not drinking. Like, I just don't feel like having alcohol right now. So we're gonna toast with a piece of cake. Y'all, there's this place across the street from my gym that makes the most amazing cupcakes, but they're closed on Tuesdays. So I couldn't grab a cupcake. So I just went to the grocery store and grabbed a piece of sheet cake, but it'll do for the toast. So let's cheers to Joey and Kelsey having a happy and healthy relationship and eventually getting married. Let's hope they do. And to Jen as the next Bachelorette. Cheers. That's good sheet cake. And that is the end of the episode and the end of this review. If you enjoyed this review, please go ahead and pound that like button, pound that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell, and I will see you all next time. Have a good one. Bye.